Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am actually in Maryland right now. I road tripped down a couple days ago to see my mom, who, if you watched my 2020 travel plans, I mentioned that she was moving here, and so I gave her 2 weeks to quarantine, and now I'm down here to visit. If you're new here, definitely make sure to subscribe, and if you're not new here, thank you for checking back into another video. The road trip was pretty great actually. Like, it was relatively easy, at least for the first half, and then shit hit the fan for the second half of the road trip. It was only like a 7-hour drive, but about 3.5 hours in, I stopped for coffee, and as I was stopping, it started to downpour, so I ran out of my car to go get the coffee. In the middle of the downpour, I like dropped my entire wallet, like it spills everywhere. That was awesome. I kept driving and it started to rain so hard, like thunder, lightning, everything, that people were actually pulling over under bridges and like parking there to wait it out. Like, it was crazy. And now we're doing a little gallivant into Annapolis for the afternoon. So I'll show you guys what we get up to around Annapolis and some of the best places to hang out, to eat, to visit if you're in the Maryland area. Thanks to our alumni here of the Naval Academy, there's tons of street parking here, but we just parked on the Academy property, and now we're walking to our first stop of the bookstore because it closes first. But oh my god, we're melting. I wore jeans, which was probably the worst decision of my entire life. Hopefully there's some AC in the bookstore or some iced coffee at least.
Bancroft Hall is the place I stayed first night ever at the Naval Academy in 1979.
Are you sure you want to include that date in here?
No, you can take that out.
I'm just kidding. First of all, that honey latte at that place gets a 10 out of 10. Mom was finishing my drink at the end and I had to steal it back from her. And now we're just wandering through the historic district of Annapolis. It's really cute. A lot of just local like boutique shops everywhere. There are plaques like on a bunch of the buildings if they have historical significance. So you can just walk around, shop a little, get a little bit of a historical education on Annapolis and Maryland. And then here we are at the Maryland State House. So that's pretty cool. I feel like this is just a very casual town to visit. It's not like a huge touristy town, but you can just come and like spend a casual day here. And we're gonna head to dinner on the water. So Mom, while we're walking on the street, tell us a little bit more about your time at Annapolis. What was it like being one of the first women ever to go to and graduate from the academy?
I loved my time there. The guys were super supportive. Never had any issues. I'm friends with many of them still today. And yeah, I loved my time. I didn't love plebe summer. Plebe summer was
You're not
fun.
supposed to love plebe summer.
Exactly.
When my mom was a freshman at the academy, or a plebe, it was the first year that there were women in the graduating class. So you always told me that those women were like especially brutal during plebe summer or whenever because they felt they had like something to prove.
I think they were tough on us, and I think it was because they were being watched as to whether or not they could give us a hard time.
Yeah, my mom's a badass, guys.
I think
FYI.
I couldn't swim when I got to the Naval Academy because I had nearly drowned when I was 2 years old, and I had never learned to swim. The guys got me through all my tests, and I learned to swim. Leap summer, we had to go out into the middle of the pool and not touch the bottom or the sides for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm gonna fail.
And you had never swum before?
Well, I couldn't float very well. I had not learned any of this. And the guys were like, that's okay, we'll hold you up, and they helped me pass that test. Good guys.
Tons of outside seating down at the dock. Yeah, really good.
Super.
This is where I get my food reactions from everybody and the happy dance that I always do. So this has salmon and this is crab. It's like a plate of seafood.
Now try the penny.
Wow, wow. Those are both. This one's probably better, but those are both really good. Okay guys, so it's actually the next morning and we're headed to the Iron Rooster. It's like one of the best breakfast places in Annapolis, and that's where we're headed. This is actually where we came for breakfast when we were here for her Naval Academy reunion too. So it's super, super good. I already know that, and I'll show you guys what we get up to. I did just want to mention one fun fact that I learned when we were Googling on the ride here this morning, because I was standing in front of the State House yesterday and I didn't even realize that that State House is actually where the Treaty of Paris was signed at the end of the Revolutionary War, because at the time Annapolis is the capital of Maryland now, but it was actually the capital of the entire country at the time of the Revolutionary War. So that's really cool. It's just a little fun fact. This breakfast is freaking amazing already. So we got chicken and waffles with some gravy. The chicken is like a little bit spicy, which is so good with the gravy. Oh my god. And then we have crab hash. And this sauce on here, I don't know what it is, but it's so good.
I think they said it's like chipotle.
It's yummy. I don't know. I don't remember this place being quite this good, but it's freaking amazing. We just finished up an amazing breakfast at the Iron Rooster. It was so, so good. I would probably give that like 9, 10 out of 10. Very good. Coffee wasn't that great, but everything else was amazing. We finished off breakfast with like a little dessert called the Roost tart. That breakfast place is called the Iron Rooster, and it's just their little twist on a homemade Pop-Tart. It was really good. We didn't eat the whole thing. It was a bit filling and we were already pretty full from our main dishes at breakfast, but that was super, super good. Something that you should try if you go to the Iron Rooster. And then we walked literally like 4 minutes over to the William Paca House and Garden.
If you don't know the name William Paca,
Yeah.
he was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, she says that as if she knew that before like 90 seconds ago.
That, and he was a 3-term governor of Maryland. I think that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, pretty cool. This is just one of like the different historical places that you can go in Annapolis. Like I mentioned yesterday, as you walk through downtown Annapolis, there's all these plaques about the historical significance of different buildings. The admission to these gardens is only $5. Just a little outing in the city.
Helps keep it going.
Yeah.
All the flowers in these beds are species known and cultivated in Paca's lifetime.
These are freaking gorgeous.
A native fig encloses this garden.
This is Denise, our professional tour guide here. Mom, tell me approximately when did you become an expert on William Paca?
It was a long time ago, maybe 5 minutes.
Mom and I were just talking earlier today as we were driving just how much We were surprised that Annapolis is still the capital of Maryland because it just has such a small town feel. It definitely still has like the colonial feel to it, kind of like Boston still does. And it's just really cool. I did not realize, am I being dumb? I did not realize that like holly grew on trees. Is that the dumbest statement ever? I'm not sure.
The Governor William Paca holly, a cultivar of our Native American holly, is a massive cone-shaped specimen.
This is like, these trees are humongous. Like, even if you knew that holly grew on trees, did you know the trees were this big? I bet not. So this is a summer house.
Yes.
And it has no purpose other than as a place to hang out in the summer?
I think so. It says perhaps Mr. Paca and his revolutionary friends met in this private space to discuss strategy.
The next story that I've always found really cool, because you just don't hear people say this anymore, and it just kind of, it ages you a little bit, but how did you find out that you had gotten into the Naval Academy?
I got a telegram. I was an exchange student. And I got a telegram from my mother that said, Denise accepted to the Naval Academy. Stop. Call home. Stop. And at that time in the Philippines, you had to go to a special building in town to make a long distance call like that. So
I just think that's so funny
early.
because like it's such a contrast. I got my college acceptance. They still sent you stuff in the mail, but they kind of stopped even doing that. Like, you got your acceptance in an email. You found out through a telegram. Like, I just think that's so funny.
I think there's a lot of people who might have been at home and found out
in the
a different way.
Yeah,
I was in the Philippines, and trust me, the Philippines were kind of backwards. So.
Yeah. So this is Bancroft Hall right there.
It's beautiful. Maybe not if you're actually living inside it right now, but afterwards, tugs at the heart. I believe it's the largest dormitory in the world. It is one building and it houses all of the mids.
You said you lived right above the mid store, so like right there-ish?
I lived right above the mid store and always on the third floor.
Yeah, so right there.
I love
So cool.
You actually do have nightmares.
Really?
For years afterwards, yes.
Oh my God.
Every one of us. I was walking in the hall, and a first class, it was plebe summer, I was a plebe, a first class decided that I wasn't walking smartly enough or sharply enough or thought I was limping or who knows what. They made me stop. Before I knew it, I had like 6 firsties around me screaming at me. They made me put a piece of paper under my arm that was what they call it is a drop chip, which meant that if I signed it, I was leaving the Naval Academy, right?
Oh my God.
And they said, if you let it slip out from under your arm, you're done here. And then they continued to scream and harass me. And I was there so long that my squad leader came looking for me. And by then I had tears running down my face. It was terrible. That's about the worst memory I have. Anyway, he made them let me go. So after that, I was tougher.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I guess.
I ran off like the young thing that I was.
I can just picture that.
Like, get me out of here! Oh, and I remember telling my mom about it on the phone later. I was like, I don't know if I want to stay. That's the worst thing that ever happened.
This travel vlog is coming to a little bit more of an abrupt end than I was planning because the Pennsylvania Dutch Farmers Market that we just got to and are now driving away from was actually closed. I'm not sure what the reason was, if it was because the employees weren't taking the proper precautions or the clientele or whatever, but either way it's closed. If you do come to Annapolis, that is supposedly one of the best things to do here. It's about 10 to 15 minutes outside of like downtown Annapolis. Either way, I really hope you guys enjoyed this travel vlog. I loved visiting Annapolis again for the first time in a few years. Middleton Tavern, highly recommend for dinner. Iron Rooster, highly recommend for breakfast. The Old Fox Bookstore, I mean, I love just hanging out there, but if you just want to stop by and get coffee, their coffee is also amazing. Non-food wise, honestly, you can't really go wrong just going down to downtown Annapolis and wandering around. It's really historic. It's a lot of like small boutique shops that you'll probably just stumble upon and end up finding something that you love. That's just kind of how it goes down there. I also highly recommend touring the Naval Academy grounds if you can. Obviously, we have a bit more of a deeper connection, and it's really fun for me to relive my mom's time there when we go there. But either way, it's just a super cool place to visit. It's a college campus technically, but it just feels so much more important than that. Even just architecture wise, it's very unique compared to other college campuses. So I think that's a really cool place to visit. But anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this vlog. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you've been to Annapolis and if you have any other recommendations that I didn't do in this vlog, because I'll definitely be visiting my mom again and we would love to hit that stuff up. And last but not least, definitely make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss another video from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!